Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode.
Sorry.
Yes, Greg does voices.
I promise he won't talk like that the whole time. Thank you. Welcome to Art of the Game. Please don't click away.
Yeah.
Welcome to Art of the Game, where us three game masters experience different games, talk about role-playing games, and share tips and tricks, and do debates and do reaction videos. Like today, we're doing a reaction video, right? What are we doing today?
Well, I saw this video by Dungeons Discourse, which I thought was very interesting. I have many disagreements with some of the points she was making, and some of them I think were very smart, so I think that's cool. But she was talking about this shift where they, we knew it was coming, but Hasbro's officially made D&D pay to play, where they are paywalling everything. And I don't know if it started yet. No, I think it has, because they've had their first drop. But like they are making it a subscription service entirely. And goddamn, talk about being out of touch. But I think this is an interesting discussion because D&D is undermonetized, and I will say that I am proudly selling an undermonetized game. Thank you for Hasbro for augmenting my sales pitch. But what do you guys think about this development?
I don't know. Explain it to me like I didn't watch the video.
Really? Okay. Well, I just did.
I mean,
we could definitely
it's very much like, hey, you want that feat, you got to go pay for that feat to use it on D&D Beyond. Yeah. And if you want to buy the books, that's nice. We'll have some collectible books you can buy on the side.
Have a coffee table book that will not contain most of the stuff that's on the website, by the way.
And these are the Ravenloft drops, right? That they're doing kind of with the Dungeon Masters podcast show.
I admittedly did not go look at what the drops are because I am boycotting D&D Beyond. But
okay. I didn't look.
I had to go into D&D Beyond recently to look at some stuff up that I wrote down there. But
that's it, Greg. You're fired.
Yeah. Well, I stopped subscribing a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, I have some very big questions about this whole thing because they're obviously what they're trying to do is trying to trap you within an ecosystem where you have to stay there. Like, you only can get online. Somehow they think that they can keep you from sharing. Have they not heard of a screen capture? Unless they've done what the phones have and make it so you can't screen capture certain things. And maybe they've done that. Because if you're on like Disney Plus, you can't screen capture anything on the Disney Plus app, for example. So maybe they've done that. But it's interesting, like, you're stuck in this thing where you have to keep paying the subscription to keep all the stuff that you've purchased and that you've spent money on, right? But it's like, if you let your subscription lapse, can you log in at any time and get your stuff, or does it all get wiped out? Like, how mercenary are they being about this?
So far, my stuff has been wiped out, but I don't know if they will eventually.
I mean, like, if there's a deadline, I mean, if they really, that's the thing, is like, they clearly don't care about the experience. It's only about money.
Well, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like they're following
corporate.
It seems like they're creating a walled garden, and they're doing something like a lot of platforms are doing, right? Even what with social media tries to stop you from sharing things off their platform, right?
That's so stupid.
Difficult to do social media.
I'll tell you why I don't like this at all. And it has nothing to do with pay to play necessarily, because I'm not the type who thinks that if you make money, it's bad, right? Like, I think if that's the way to monetize something and it makes the most sense, I understand, whatever. I think a lot of games have pay to play, pay to win, or rather pay to win, rather.
Sure.
And that's fine. It's kind of how the game works, whatever. It's why most people can play free a lot of times, right? But I don't hate monetary systems as such. They just exist.
We have
what I don't like. Yeah, exactly. What I don't like is that it's all becoming digital. I think the fact that almost no one can make a 5e character now without using a character creator, I think has been a bad move. And it's made people not understand their characters too much. I don't know why the lighting in my room makes me look like I have a Hitler mustache, but that's annoying to me. But yeah, I think that whole thing, and it goes with the VTT thing too, is why I never use Foundry myself. If I'm running a game, I don't use Foundry anymore because it does way too much. It got to the point to where people don't even know how their character works. They're just looking for the button to freaking click in the VTT. And it's all because of this digitization of a game that was not made for that. If you want to make a digital game, make a digital game that's just a different game, because D&D at its core was just not made to be digital. I'm sorry, like Baldur's Gate 3, by the way, do you know why they capped it at level 12? Because it got so crazy and it just didn't fit in a video game format at all. That's literally what they said, is why they didn't go above level 12. And they said they don't even want to do a next one because 5e is such a hard system to make digital. So it's bad all across. I think it hurts the game. It makes me be frustrated with people I play with. I'm like, don't you know your character? Why do you have to click this button? Why do you have to go? And it just makes things take forever. I'm here throwing like 3d20s for 3 enemies, and they're here like opening up each one, find the ability, click it, right? And it's just
I also think that there's a big mistake because they recognize like they're putting a wall on their product, right? They're trying to keep people inside that wall. Oh, they're going to come to us, but they've kind of forgotten, which is why I think that their CEO is absolutely full of shit when he says he's a fan. Is that like,
right?
It's like their wall goes both ways. Like, Marks, how old were you when you started?
Oh, I was 11 or 12. Yeah.
Greg, how old were you?
Whatever. Oh shit! It must have been. I mean, shoot! It must have been like 5th grade, whatever that is.
Right. So for me, same 5th grade, so 13 or 12 or whatever it is. Right. So like, here's the thing: children of that age cannot.
It's more normal.
Yeah. Thank you. Children of that age don't have credit cards. They don't have income. Right. Most of us in like a vast majority, I don't say, I don't know the statistic, but a vast majority, particularly in the generation that Marcus and I came from, right, got into the game as kids. Okay. And so what you've done is you've completely barred those children from, like, the children would have to get their parents to pay for it. So unless their parents are a fan, those kids are, cannot get in on the game, which means that, going back to our previous episode, if you go look at the list, which we should bring up, actually. Marcus, can you bring the list back up from Bob?
Oh, okay. Just a moment.
Yeah, just like it's a good time to look at that again, right? This is so this is potentially a counter to the argument that Greg was making. So 2024, right, is going to be exclusively online, right? 5e original 2014, you can play that. Any kid can jump in and play that because there's plenty of materials out there. They're making the 2024 books rare. Okay, Pathfinder, everything on this list is going to get the kids, right? As long as there's a GM willing to take the time. Right? If the game is simple, the kid can play it. That's the problem. Is all they're doing by this is they're building up their competition, because the next generation is not going to be playing 2024, and then you're going to see, they're big right now. It's not going to stay that way, or some of the CEO is going to go, oh shit, we screwed up, but I can't undo it because it makes us look weak.
Yeah, I mean, I would echo what you said, Greg. To me, my biggest problem with it all, and you're right, Woody, does create a little burden. I don't know if it's as big a burden because kids are a lot more tech savvy, and
but they don't have money.
Yeah, but they play video games all the time, right? And they got to get money to do that.
Yeah, but parents aren't going to pay for a subscription. Like, it's just,
Will they quit talking to them? They probably will.
I was on mute this whole time. I actually disagree with one little thing there. I think kids are actually less tech savvy than their parents these days. I think that used to be true in the millennials, but Zoomers are not as tech savvy as their parents.
Oh, like really? At commencement speeches, like the guys that are talking about the future of AI, they're getting booed hard.
Yeah, they're getting booed. People hate it.
Yeah, but that's because AI might take their jobs, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Because they see a future where they don't have careers.
Okay. So anyway, but besides that, I would say what you were saying, Greg. One of the things I don't really like about it, I don't care about the option being there. I don't like it when you force that to be the primary option, because tabletop roleplay games, and what you say, Greg, is that the greatest thing about it is it's your imagination. You can do whatever you want. It's a computer game. No matter how much you design it, cannot do everything you imagine. It cannot compute all that now. And so whenever you do D&D Beyond, it's limiting your imagination. So for example, I play games with nieces, nephews and stuff. And one nephew's gotten really big into role playing games now, so I've got him hooked, and he started GM now and stuff. And I told him, "Oh, I don't really like D&D Beyond because it's a pain." And he's like, "Oh, well, I got D&D Beyond. It makes it easier." And then the other day we were meeting, and he goes, I see what you're saying, because every time I want to homebrew something, I can't really do it because I don't have the options in D&D Beyond. And I'm just man, I just want to use paper and do it that way.
And if I may, how old is this kid?
Oh, well, as a kid, it was 19 now, so
okay,
27.
Okay, yeah,
So he's 35.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, hey, G. Well, yeah, because I was in a unique position back in the day when I was when I inherited my gaming group, and because I came into this gaming group in high school that already existed,
You
and
probably don't need this.
I became the permanent game master for that group, right? But I was in a unique position compared to the other guys because I was a little older and I had a job because I had a family business, and I could go out and buy the books, right? So I had this huge collection that I could draw from. But a lot of young kids that would love to play just don't have those resources. And, so you're limiting their options. And the fact that you can't share, that everybody has to have a membership, that's insane.
Yeah. Oh, you'll like this too, buddy. He's GMing for a group of friends, and they decided, because he's in college, he doesn't really have a lot of money, like you're talking about.
Yeah.
So they're like, "Oh, we'll buy your book you want or something."
Finally.
So they bought him the book. Yes. So I knew you wanted that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that is a liability, and in that, and maybe this indirectly fixes it, but the most of the burden is being held on the shoulders of the game master, and players should be helping out. They should be pitching in for some of these things.
If you can.
You have games that go on. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're like me, where I was a crazy fan and I've got literally everything they ever made on my shelf, but it's which is 300 books. But, that's a rarity, in those sorts of situations. It's I mean,
I've said it before, though. I think the people who drive the market, these companies don't want to admit that. They always think they can get the new young player, and that's who's going to drive the new stuff. And it's just not true. The people who drive the market are the hardcore players, because they're the ones who are going to make YouTube videos. They're the ones who are going to spread it. They're going to do all this stuff, right? If it weren't for Matt Mercer being a hardcore D&D player, it would have not caught on, right? At all.
Yeah.
So, and they, by the way, came from Pathfinder. Imagine if they started their thing with Pathfinder, because that's what they actually played privately, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, but they converted over to 5e when they went on the YouTube. And
that's what I'm saying. Imagine if they started Pathfinder instead of 5e. I bet D&D would be way worse today.
Or
way less lucrative.
Or it wouldn't have caught on. And
that's what I mean.
Yeah. And Critical Role would not have been the big thing it is now.
Oh, maybe. I don't think it was the system that made that game.
Yeah. No, but if they were going to promote a game that they wanted people to play, like 5e was big, right? And it they could see it growing, and they also, if people are watching the show and they knew that people would, if they hit, people are going to want to play the game, then the big change is can they play the game? And a lot of those people would not have been able to play Pathfinder. Pathfinder 1, not a simple system. There's a reason why there's people who call it Homework the RPG. It's
Glass Cannon did Pathfinders in the start. So
yeah. I do think one reason that D&D also took off, it compounded, it was D&D Beyond, frankly. Like Critical Role, especially advertising it so much. And even I got into D&D because of D&D Beyond, probably. I probably would not have gone into it as much if it weren't for D&D Beyond. So I'm not against the digitation. I like digital character creators. I just don't like systems that require it. You don't understand your character unless you use it. Yeah.
Well, I also think that it betrays potentially a lack of confidence in your product, right? Because if they were so certain that they were that dominant, they wouldn't need to do this, right? Because they've got more competition than they've ever had since the mid 90s, and it's they screwed up hard, and they haven't given enough time for it to get over the mistake, because we're still talking about it, and and they're trying to come in hard with this, like, hey, we've given enough time. Now we come in with what our plan actually was in the beginning, and and they're trying to like do this massive monopolistic behavior. But it's like, the thing is that if
they're not a monopoly,
no, they're not, and they're behaving like they are one, and they're not, and even at the height of D&D, it never was a monopoly, and like, if you want to capture a fan base, you put out a quality product that people want to buy, right? That's the reason why I've got a shelf of 300 Palladium books.
And how did they not learn that with 4E? Like, seriously, like, that was the lesson there that they did not learn.
Corporations are in charge, and they build these games by committee, right?
They hire a consultancy. It tells them to fire half the employees.
I know we've got that Riffs RPG drinking game, but like, these books, I was literally running to the store to buy these, even in my 20s and 30s, right? Like, these books are jam-packed with cool shit. They're thorough, they're complete, and it's like, these books, there was no comparison between these books and what Wizards is putting out. Because half those books are only for the GM. They don't have anything for the players, and it's like, you're not putting out, like, if you want to sell all like that much product, make something people want to buy.
Yep.
I mean, these companies are not going to learn. They just Hasbro is gonna do a lot of harm for a long time. Yeah. And maybe we can hope it gets sold off, I think, which would be the best scenario.
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think the most likely scenario is that they're going to eventually suffer enough that they have to, 6th edition has to get farmed out to another publisher. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the only way they made a successful D&D game was to subcontract it out, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like, I'm out there selling books that I've written, right? And I've got this big cyberpunk game. A lot of people get excited. Yeah, I may have heard of it, but like, not everybody buys it because they were like,
I thought that was Riffs. My bad.
Yeah, they want D&D or something. But so then what I do is I do a monster manual, and one of the monster manuals I have is just all Native American. Like, another one is just other. It's like, I've got these little monster manuals that people are like, boom, 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 I'll take that. But again, it's a quality product.
5e compatible.
5e compatible, yes, but it's full of things people actually want. It's giving them that variety. It's doing crazy things that they'll never.
That's how Paizo started. That's how Paizo started, right? It's just adventure paths. It wasn't any system or anything.
Yeah. Like, I one of my books has a monster that eats your better future. So the joke is you can't get natural 20s anymore, and it's like that. But
you sell them the special dice.
No. I'm making that joke now, and people actually do that. But like, it's got 2 1s on it. But people hear that joke, and they're like, I'll buy that. I sell tons of those things. It's but it's like, you're recognizing a demand in the market, and you're filling it, and you're not getting, you can't get that with a committee. You have to get that with good ideas. And when you chase off all the guys that made your game great, in spite of the many criticisms that they deserve,
who all made their own systems,
exactly.
Now, except the ones who went to Daggerheart.
Yeah, well, good for them. But like, I have my criticisms of what they did, but like, these are the guys that built your game, and then you treated them like they didn't matter. Yeah.
And to be clear, a miracle did happen at Wizards of the Coast, right? They made 3.5. They made 4E, which ditched the OGL, right? And on top of that, it was a game like WoW, and then and then Pathfinder came and took over. The miracle that happened is they then made an improved system called 5e, which was good, right? Yeah. That's that doesn't happen a lot at big companies, actually. And
where they crashed that hard and then came back.
And then they came back from OGL, and then they made it Creative Commons, which is kind of nice too. So.
Yeah, and then they had the scandal, and then they made a digital product that failed. And then they had their next board meeting. They said, well, that failed, so let's try doing 4 more at a time this time, because one of them might succeed now.
Then they killed their movie. Yeah.
And it's just like, there is a chance a miracle could happen again. 6E will be a wonderful system. But at this point, I kind of doubt it.
well, the thing about D&D is that it's institutionalized now, and so it's almost too big to fail. Like, you'd have to really screw up to ruin it, because they did succeed in turning it into a lifestyle brand. Which is why it's going to go on forever now. But D&D was already institutionalized before Hasbro or before Wizards of the Coast bought it. Like it was already had that reputation as a premier game. It's just, it could be tarnished, but it was so easy to bring it back because people wanted it to be good.
I just have a feeling it's the reason this is bad, like ultimately really bad in my opinion, is it's not going to push people to other games. I think, unfortunately, I think what it's going to do is it's going to push people out of the genre in general. People are going to start playing D&D. It's going to be bogged down by digital tools for a system that wasn't made for digital tools. People are going to find that it's annoying, it's boring, it drags, and their answer isn't going to be, well, there's a better system. Their answer is going to be, I'll go do something else. And I think that's really sad.
Well, the thing is though, is that what gets people into the game is you've got a kid that wants to be a game master. He learns how to do it and gets his friends together, and then they're going to play the game that he has.
Yeah.
Right. And if that kid cannot, and because that's how it was when we were kids, right? And that's how it always is. And if he cannot, if these kids cannot get the money together for everybody to have a monthly D&D Beyond subscription for that 5-year campaign they're about to do, because they're kids, then they're going to get whatever book that they can get their hands on. They're going to run that. It's going to be GURPS. Yeah. It's going to be Ninja Turtles. It's going to be whatever they can find in the store that looks like fun, Lancer, whatever it is, and they're going to run that. And then somebody else will get a book, but they'll be doing it with the books they can go buy at the local game store. And the local game store is going to have to promote them because they won't have the books to sell.
Do you think kids go to local game stores? I don't know. I know you did, but you're a totally different generation.
I am
didn't grow up on an iPad.
I am a totally different generation, but
I don't know. Like if I go to a game shop, I'm pretty sure I'll see a bunch of millennials right now.
Yeah. Well, but like the thing is in order to have any kind of like a long-term success in your brand or product, you have to be looking at your core base and you have to be getting them early. That's why cigarettes market to children. It's like, that's like our the foundation of a role-playing game industry.
To be fair, cigarettes are really cool.
Sorry. They do make you look cool.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
He says, sorry, algorithm.
Yeah. The foundation of the RPG industry is children, and those children grow up to be lifelong fans, and they've cut those out. So the people that are going to come in and want to join as adults or teens, who got their first money to spend, their foundational experience will not be with 2024. If they keep this pattern,
they need a basic D&D game for them.
Yeah.
Or just Shadow Dark.
Yeah.
I think the world's in a bad place with this, and I'm an optimist. I love technology, all technology, even AI, but I'm not really an optimist when it comes to this part because the problem is kids are digital. They just are. Yeah. If you look at kids these days at restaurants, they have their little iPad. They're on it totally all the time. They're just digital people. They're not the type to open up a book, I don't think, at all. In fact, I'm pretty sure in the future they're just going to have AI to be able to teach them stuff, and I think that's a great thing, teaching. But I don't think it's going to be a place where you just sit down and read a book like we used to.
Well,
I just don't see it.
AI is not the place you're going to find new ideas. And
no, of course not.
Our RPGs are all about creativity and new ideas, and so AI has no place in it. I was talking to a gentleman.
It's good for learning existing ideas.
Yeah. I was talking to a gentleman at the last show I was at, and he told me that he had tried out an AI GM, and all it did was gave him what he wanted. Yeah. And
yeah, it depends on the AI, but it's a terrible idea. Terrible idea.
Yeah.
I still remember we played with one, and then one of the players attacked one of the other players, and the AI was like, I cannot condone this.
Yeah. Well, I think it's funny how you'll have like an anti-AI video, and then the commercial that pops up is for AI.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the AI tool we've sometimes used for recaps and stuff. Not bad.
That's cool.
It's not generating anything, just recapping or recording.
Yeah. Well,
which would be not something we would really want to spend time doing, right? So
that's what it should be doing. Like it should be speeding up the process of animation and making animation more cheaper, more economical. It should be like
more cheaper, better.
Yeah,
more cheaper.
Hey, we finally lost Marks. Hey,
oh, there we go. Look at that. He's doing karate.
Okay, he's back. Yeah,
more cheaper, better.
Yeah, exactly.
Too strong term.
It should be making animation more economical. It should be like bolstering special effects, making it more affordable so that these special effects companies can actually make money. It should be like, assisting various industries. It shouldn't be taking away jobs. It shouldn't be, like trying to replace people. And, I could absolutely see a Butlerian jihad situation, especially after what the Pope just said. So
just to be clear, the amount of software engineer jobs has actually gone up, not down, because of AI. But the whole job loss thing is, I don't want to get into it, but I don't agree with it. But the
if you're an artist,
what are we talking about?
If you're an artist, it is a big deal. But
if you're an artist,
use AI too. It is a big deal.
Yeah.
AI art is not creative though. It's the person.
No.
Yeah.
But for marketing campaigns, do they care?
Yeah, for marketing.
I as an artist, I would love to be able to have a model to work from and have some sort of like maybe a digital model that I can move around. That would be really helpful, right? But like, just to, you want to keep human creativity there, and
for sure. All right, we've gone kind of far away.
Yes, we have.
So I think what are we talking about?
we're talking about Dungeons and Discourse video about the monetization of the paywall, and I think I've made the points. The only other thing I would say is like I disagree with some of the points she made in her video, but also she's overhyping something on purpose to create controversy, which she likes to do, and she's even admitted it, and that's okay. I think.
But she's playing
hyperbole.
Yeah,
she's playing the algorithm game, right?
She is. She is absolutely,
and she speaks in hyperboles, and she's very funny, and she knows it.
Yeah, because like that comment about how World of Warcraft drowned out every other MMO. Are you high? No, it didn't. But that's absolute BS, and I'm sure she knows
it did for a
little while.
No, it didn't.
It had its prime years, which it kind of did.
It did have its prime years, but there were lots of games coming out that found their audience. Like and there were ones that existed before WoW that still kept their audience. Like it is absolute. It's a horseshit statement, but like she's doing it on purpose and she knows it. Yeah.
I played WoW a lot.
Yeah, good. But I mean, like
I don't know about that. I was dark years of Greg, but sure.
She was being very gloom and doom as she always is. But it isn't the end of time. It isn't the end of history. There, it's just
if they lose sales, guess what? They'll pivot and they'll change and they'll do something different. So
I don't think so. I disagree with that.
If it affects
anything shown that companies do not pivot well, the bigger the company, the harder they pivot. I mean, the harder it is for them to pivot.
I think Chris Cox is not going to want to back down because if he does, he'd have to admit he was wrong. Right. But like I think
he could get replaced.
Well, that and that's the only thing that's going to change this is if a different person
or if it gets sold. Like I said, if they end up not having to sell the property or something like that. Would also.
But I think that's I would not be taking that bet on Kalshi.
No.
But,
big companies don't pivot well. It's just kind of a known thing. It's unfortunate. They'll probably double down. They'll probably hire a consultancy that'll tell them to do the most milquetoast thing, which will get no one excited, which is also what you call D&D 5.5.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, like, it's, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but it's going to take, like, the industry needs more stuff like this, right? Like, independent creators with an idea and they've got something behind it and they're going to get out there and they're going to push it and try to find an audience. Like we need that. We need people that are going to shake things up. And
let me give an analogy of why I think the world is different than back then with Pathfinder. Today, if you look at the previous decades, everyone always liked all types of music, but you could clearly say there was a dominant genre for just about every decade.
Yeah.
Today, there is no dominant genre of music. It's everyone has their own niches. Everyone goes and finds the music they want, and there's really nothing dominant. I think we're in that with RPGs too now. There is no dominant in that sense. Everyone just finds their niche and they go for it. And because of that, I don't think there can just be a good system that will teach Wizards of the Coast their wrong ways and get them to pivot. I just don't think it'll happen.
Well, that's the reason why we haven't heard from Weird Al in a while. Like, he's still performing, but he hasn't written a song.
He said the exact same thing. Yep.
Yeah. He hasn't written a song because there isn't a.
He said there's no more hits.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I think that's the world we live in with RPGs too, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, like with my product, I'm building it. I'm like, I've got a growing fan base. You know, I've got people coming back buying more product, and I've got people that are excited to see me. Like, oh, you're back, great! I'll buy the next thing. But it's like, um, you know, I'm going to have my mark on the market, but I'm not going to be. I'm never going to dethrone, you know, Wizards of the Coast. I have no illusions about that. You know, but I'm sure that got a cat in your lap, huh? I mean, I'm absolutely certain I will reach a point where I'm successful enough where this is my job, but like, I'm just going to be, you know, one of these guys on the list. I'm not going to be at the top, but I think that we'll probably see enough people like me out there that it's going to carve up. Like, it could very well carve up the dominance of D&D, just distributed amongst more games, like it was in the 80s. Quite frankly, you know, you know, like 30% of the market will be D&D, and everybody will have everything else.
Yeah, I hope so. It's great to have more games, different kind of games to play.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be if you want to play a different game, you learn another system, and people are fine with that. And now people want to play the system they already know and have it in a different genre. And I think, you know, that's actually another thing. Oh, we're at 30 minutes. I guess never mind. We'll save it for
another thing.
Yeah,
not another thing.
Well,
thing.
She was talking about like they were licensing out their IP to other worlds and saying that's terrible. And I'm like, are you high? Hey, people love multiversal stuff. You know,
I do remember that part, and I do kind of disagree with that part too. Yeah,
yeah. The only thing that I really hope is, like, I'm looking. Where is it? So I picked up this book expecting it to be cool. This book sucks. Like, it sucks hard. It has new races in it, and the guild. It's the Magic the Gathering campaign setting.
Oh,
right.
Oh,
it's got some new races. You see this bitchin' item she's using? You can't have it. It's not in the book.
Oh, that's lame.
It is lame. Like, it talks about the Ravnica setting, but they expect you to play Ravnica with D&D content and D&D magic items. I'm sorry, they have freaking technomancy in Magic. Okay,
I'm going to show you the best book that 5e came out with recently in the last decade. You ready for this?
Oh yeah, the cookbook.
Yeah,
yes,
that's a taste.
It even has the best art.
Yeah. So my expectation is that when they license out their engine to another IP,
look at this art.
It's going to be just as lazy as Ravnica.
Oh, too many smiling faces.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, if you eat anything in that, you'll get diabetes.
Everybody is smiling when they're around the table. You're about to have good food.
Yeah.
So like, I'm concerned that, like, when they do another license IP and bring a source book. Well, one, you're never going to have a book. It's only ever going to be digital, right? You're never going to get that book. So if you got Fortnite, yeah, that's awesome. But, like, you're never going to get a book, and it's probably going to be just as lazy as the Ravnica book, where it's going to be, all that cool stuff. You're not going to get it, and it's going to end when the license expires. So all of those, when the license ends, all that cool shit you bought, it's gone. Doesn't matter how much money you paid. You know.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, I'm done bitching.
The monetary stuff, it is what it is. I don't think. I just don't think the digital nature fits this game at all. Yeah. If they make a 6E that's made for being digital, I think maybe you could make it work.
Yeah.
But this 5E,
just make a video game then, you know?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's the most digital you can get.
You know, it was interesting when they did KOTOR and they adapted the Star Wars the Star Wars 3rd edition into a video game form. That worked really well. It wasn't but it was about as accurate. It was just as accurate as Baldur's Gate was.
Yeah,
right.
They changed things to make it work.
Like, it was good enough that got us excited, and we actually went and played the Star Wars game.
Yeah.
And
Baldur's Gate got me more excited about D&D.
Yeah.
If you want to play a fun game, actually, Pathfinder Kingmaker, I think, is an amazing game. But it's Pathfinder 1E, and it implements it pretty close, surprisingly. Pathfinder is a surprisingly decent game for a game system for a video game.
I believe it. It's very crunchy. Everything's got math to it. So.
Yeah, and if you don't have to do the crunching, it's not bad.
Hey, Mark, you got a short topic. Mark, you got a short topic again.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
I know. All right.
All right. So sounds like we're not fans of moving to these pure digital D&D Beyond.
Anyone that's watched any of our episodes, I'm sure that's a big surprise.
Yeah. So what do you all think out there? Are you happy with this? You're not happy with it? How do you feel about it? Let us know in the comments. And of course, if you like this content, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. And until next time,
I swear I heard you say describe.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Well, subscribe or subscribe.
Well. Yeah, describe how you subscribed.
Yep. Until next time, with hopefully less tangents. This is Early Games signing off.
The only way you're getting rid of the tangents is if you edit them out.
When the dice roll high, we touch the sky. But when